If you're in your first microeconomics class, there's 3 ways that you need to know how to find equilibrium for your first midterm: on a graph, in a table, and by equations. And before we start here, if you're absolutely screwed for this test, I can teach you this entire class in about 2.5 hours. I've got 95 free concept breakdowns in my microeconomics cram kit on my website, so make sure you go check that out. All right, but besides the point, let's start with the easiest one here, graph. To find the equilibrium point on a graph, all you gotta do is find the intersection point of the current supply and demand curves. And that just occurs right here. We'll see at this price of $10 and this quantity of 20 units. If a shift in, let's say, the demand curve happened, like let's say it increased to D2 here, well then ignore this point because now the new equilibrium point lies right here. That will say 22 units and a price of $12. Just look at the intersection point of the current supply and demand curves. Because at this price and quantity, that is where consumers and producers will rest. The market will rest at this point. All right, next up here, if you're working with a table, we gotta find the row where supply equals demand. Because like we said before, that's the point where producers and consumers will rest. And when I look through these rows, I see that at $15, the quantity supplied of 4 units equals the quantity demanded of 4 units. Meaning that this is gonna be the equilibrium price and the resulting equilibrium quantity of 4 units here. Just look for the row or price where the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded. This row right here is essentially the point where the supply and demand curves intersect. And now lastly here, if you're working with equations, you just gotta set them equal to one another, solve for price, and then plug back into either one. So let's see how this works out here. I'm first gonna solve for price here by setting these equations equal to one another. 10p equals 40 minus 5p. When we solve this out here, we get this price of 2.67. I definitely should have chose better numbers that came out to a cleaner price, but besides the point, this is the price that quantity supplied equals quantity demanded. But we can't stop there, we gotta find the equilibrium quantity now too. And to do that, we can plug this price into either of these equations. We're gonna get the same equilibrium quantity, because remember, this is the price where both these equations equal one another. So to make our lives easier, I'm gonna use this QS equation. We're gonna go Q, and then really QE, the equilibrium quantity, equals 10 times 2.67. So we'll go, I should have used better numbers here, but we'll go, the equilibrium quantity here is 26.7 units. Set them equal to one another, solve for price, plug price back into either equation to solve for quantity. That's how you solve for equilibrium on equations. Now listen, if you like the way I explain microeconomics and have your first midterm coming up, maybe it's literally tomorrow morning, go check out my microeconomics cram kit. I've packaged together my best tutoring videos to teach you your entire class the night before your exam. We've got 95 free concept breakdowns that walk you through all the core concepts in this class in roughly 2.5 hours. And then if you'd like, I've got a practice bank of over 150 must-know problems with guided solutions to make sure that you're ready to apply these